Sir, coming to President Hamid Karzai, this is not the first statement in which he has basically directly attacked Pakistan and the Pakistan government or the people in Pakistan like Baitullah Mahsood. We have seen him directly addressing basically Baitullah Mahsood that he'll hit him in his own house if this cross-border terrorism or movement does not stop. What one doesn't understand is that President Karzai himself and his government has no control outside of Kabul. So are these statements more for political and domestic consumption, or are they actually a show of intent for the near future?
You see, Baitullah Mahsood is a Karzai asset himself. He works for Karzai. So Karzai has to give this impression to say that he's going to come and hit and do this thing and that thing to Baitullah Mahsood just to give the impression that he belongs to a different category of militants. No, he's not. For part one. Part two, Karzai also said that their forces are going to intrude into Pakistan, chase the militants. He doesn't even have presidential guards to protect himself. He's got American Blackwater protecting him. He does not want Pakistan to fence the border and say where Pakistan suggests if you fence the border, the militants will not be able to cross. The responsibility will not come on Pakistan. He says, Karzai says, no, people-to-people contact should remain, so border should remain open. Then Pakistan says we should push the refugee camps back where the militants come and Taliban come and they protect and hide themselves. He says no, the burden would be on Afghan economy would be too much, so Pakistan should keep the refugee camps as well on this side. Then Pakistan says we should mine the border at least. He says no, it will stop again the people-to-people movement. Pakistan says accept the Durand line. He says no, I don't want to accept the Durand line. The border does not exist between the two countries. Historically, it has never remained a border as according to him. And then he comes and say, ask Pakistan to do more. So I think we should do more. What we should do is we should start talking to Taliban, Afghan Taliban. We should mine and fence the border.
But the thing is it that simple? Can it be that simple?
First,
thinking about it, it seems like these are the obvious solutions. You mine the border, you fence it, and give them the refugees, send the refugees back. But is it going to be that simple?
Yes.
Will we be actually, if we decide tomorrow that we want to take these steps?
By God, if we decide, it is the solution. There is no other solution without keeping the Afghan Taliban out.
Suicide attack against the Indian embassy. Immediately we get this reaction from India. We see the Indian foreign minister running to Afghanistan.
There is absolutely no doubt that Afghan Taliban has done it, and they have all the reason and all the right to do it. So simply because if Afghans are attacking the NATO and the American and ISAF forces, the Indians are an equal ally. Indians are supporting the NATO and the Americans, and Indians are supporting terrorism inside Pakistan. So if Afghan Taliban have knocked out Indian assets, it makes hell of a lot of sense.
So, but sir, coming to you, same question. We see blaming Pakistan. We see an accusation, this is a series of allegations and accusations, and all of a sudden the ISI, the boogeyman from Pakistan is in the forefront once again. With the terror of the region is being held responsible. The Indian foreign minister has gone to Kabul. India is blaming Pakistan. Initially India said the CBI persons who were coming to Pakistan for talks decided no, we are not coming. Then India said no, we'll continue the talks. So what is actually going on? What kind of a role is India actually trying to play in the region?
I think here also Pakistan should to some extent accept its failure to have influence in Afghanistan, especially after the 9/11. India was the first to enter Afghanistan after the 9/11 attacks. India was the first to reopen its two old consulates and to open two new in Jalalabad and in Kandahar. They did not have these consulates before. India was the first to give 3 Boeing airplanes to Afghanistan because Afghanistan Ariana airline was totally collapsed.
Finished, right.
Okay. India, in the region, India had $850 million aid to Afghanistan. It is very interesting to you. If you go to Kabul, you will see the all hotelings are run by the Indians. I myself several times stayed in Kabul, and whenever we go to submit our passport, the Indian is sitting there and we had to give the passport to them. So the hoteling, we have 70,000 Pakistanis in Afghanistan, the labor, but they are mostly the laborers, the poor laborers. They are mainly involved in construction, but what they do, they work and then they confine to their homes or where they are living. Pakistan embassy people, they cannot go into the street of Kabul. The press councillor was telling me, they after the embassy they go and they stay indoors. They cannot go in the road because India influence in there are engineers, there are road construction, solar energy, power plants, and many things. So and Pakistan also has money for Afghanistan, but not like them.
Right.
They had given 200 buses. Afghan, India, friendship, dosti. Then our people also thought, but very late.
Right.
And we had also some trucks
Basically,
and some
we
buses.
reacted very late.
Very late. And the second thing is, then the Pakistan decision was good to build the Torkham and Jalalabad road, and they welcomed it. And they accepted
Right.
their gesture, and now they are asking us to have another road.
India is basically in Afghanistan to stay, and Indian interest in Afghanistan is nothing new. We have seen that even before the Taliban government, took over Afghanistan, we saw that the India was present in Afghanistan.
Yes, but and the second thing is that, like the Americans, always the Americans go for their own interest.
Right.
The same thing is Indian.
Right.
I will finish with a few seconds. The Afghan nation and the Afghan leaders should also know that when the Soviets occupied Afghanistan in 1979, and they had been for 10 years in Afghanistan, the Indian government first, they supported the invasion of Afghanistan. The second thing, they supported the communist regime of Dr. Najibullah unless it was collapsed. So the people of Afghanistan, and some people
India
say,
has its own interest
and some
in
people say
Afghanistan.
that this attack outside the Indian embassy may be because the Afghans, many Afghans, they hate the Indians' role in Afghanistan. So maybe this is the main reason of the attack.
One of the main issues that I was thinking about is the nuclear deal between India and the United States. India has decided that, we are seeing political opposition against the deal. But can we expect it to go ahead despite political oppositions? And are we seeing that India is coming up and making accusations very clearly, when initially relations have been good between I won't say good, but they have been better than in the past between the two countries. Now with the nuclear deal, we see them coming out with clear accusations against Pakistan for the first time after a very long time.
You see, you should also note the timings, that whenever the NATO is threatening to attack Pakistan from the western side, the Indias have started provocation from the eastern front. They have brought Kashmir directly under the Delhi rule. They have started accusing Pakistan of infiltration, exactly the same word which Karzai is using and the NATO is using. They have fired across the line of control for the first time, breaking the ceasefire.
Right.
Whenever India gets into a strong diplomatic position, their tone, the demeanor, the body language changes straight away. And that change tells you what kind of secret backhand deals have already been taking place. Pakistan is now under a threat of a very direct invasion from NATO.
What concerns me most is that we have seen a revival of the US interest in Afghanistan. Afghanistan was basically on the back burner as far as the United States was concerned. But since Iran's nuclear program has started, has come into the limelight, we see that the US is much more interested in Afghanistan, and pressure has been building on Pakistan. But Afghanistan has said, Karzai has basically said, that he will not allow Afghanistan to be used for an attack against Iran. Where does that leave Pakistan?
You see, this is again where I want to make it very clear. I think, not just I think, that I know for sure that Iranian threat which the Americans are building and Israelis are building is only a bluff. The real threat is Pakistan. Karzai will not have excellent relationship with Iran. Karzai will not allow any American influence happening from Afghanistan against Iran, but Karzai is more than willing to support the American invasion into Pakistan from his territory. And the Americans also. You see, Iranians are at least 10 years away from a nuclear weapon. They don't have a delivery mechanism. Even if they made a missile which can hit Israel, it's the capacity to do damage is nothing more than a 155mm SP shell, of an Howitzer shell probably. That much damage that Iranian missile can do in Israel.